Hi guys, my name is Borrodante, and welcome back to Outlandish Curiosity. So we're at this page right now. Gilbert is standing on the bridge of the friendship of two different tribes. The Bridge of Friendship. And he's enjoying this awesome view. So I haven't done anything in between the episodes, so we're just continuing working on this image. And this on the right is two spreads back image, just for reference of colors and contrast. So main things I want to change in this picture right now is work much more on the mountains, add more actual forest everywhere, some way. Maybe just the way I did with this picture, because this mountain looked really good. Well, it took the whole page, so I made sure I rendered it well. So maybe closer to this kind of look it will be really cool, only with a stronger air perspective, so it won't be such a clear view. And yeah, pretty much everywhere we need to add some details. There is a lot of space in this area. It's very far away, like this distance is way bigger than this distance. Therefore, in here there should be a lot of events going on, stretched horizontally, like cloud shadows, which is something I did a little bit in here, as you can see. It's kind of a cloud shadow situation. This is what I did. But I think I want to improve the contrast on this part as well a little bit. But also, we need to add that kind of stuff here with even stronger, like sharper detail, because it's further away, so the edges of those shadows will be sharper, especially vertically. And yeah, add more bushes or some kind of bits of forest or something like that, so that will be a great place for good detail. Something more interesting in here, this is very blank. Not a lot of change is required there, but at least some nice play with light and shadow, the way we have here or here. Do something like that to define it a bit more interestingly. And finally, the Field of Spring Follies. It's kind of okay, but it's not exactly perfect. Like, I already started fixing the lighting on these flowers, because they were kind of concave, which made no sense at this stage. They should all be closed by now, or open with green seeds. Maybe we'll do some of those in that stage, as we showed on this page. On the left, they're open with white seeds, in the middle they're closed, and at the right corner they're open with green, fully developed flying seeds. So we'll probably do all kinds of stages, especially the middle and the last one. And yeah, shape up these bridge handles. They're not exactly correct. They should be slimmer and just in a better perspective. They don't look very hot right now. They should actually go stronger like this, because the angle that I drew them at right now, this is what they are initially when you look at them from the front, and we're looking at them from the top, so the perspective will be even stronger. Right now they feel like they're just vertical when they're not supposed to be that. So yeah, that's the main things that we should fix. Pretty much I'll be jumping all over the place, so probably everything will change to a certain extent. Let's start. Alright, the field looks really cool now, I think, comparing to that. This feels like it really is an awesome, interesting place with the rich lighting. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, we're pushing the time towards the dusk. So in here, the sky becomes slightly violet on the right side. On the left, it's still like daytime. And in previous pages, it's just full-blown day. In here, you can see also this gradient going on. So on the right, it's getting darker. And where we are now is getting even closer to that. So in a few pages, I'm not sure, maybe literally in the next one. Yeah, in the next 2 pages, page 49 to 52, that's where it's getting really late and dark. And then we move on to the next chapter, to the forest that is to the right. So Gilbert is going there, and it's gonna be a different place. New things, new nature, new animals. So with all these thoughts and looking at the cool view, we're kind of moving closer to the end of this chapter. I really like the way things look. I love the fact that I added some of the seeds flying around or laying around on the grass, because not every single seed will perfectly fall into the baskets of Spring Follies at the bottom. I hate the look of a separate kind of brush on top of a consistently different brush that I paint everything else with. So these white seeds, they're kind of weird, out of place. I'm gonna have to blend them in a little bit or something, especially super tiny ones. They're incredibly out of place, at least here. So yeah, I'll do a bit more of that, and then we'll move on to the forest and the mountains, mostly the nature part. Gilbert and the bridge, I don't know if we'll make to it by the end of the episode, but we'll see. And of course I haven't touched any forest or mountains after I said I would. As it always is, if I say that I'm not gonna be painting that part of the painting today, that's the part of the painting that won't leave my mind anymore, and I will have to paint only that. So I made Gilbert much better looking, I hope, right? Yeah, that's better. And generally softly moving from the fields through the river and Gilbert to the forest and the mountains, probably that way. So I'll try to fix some geometry on the bridge and then move on to this right side. This may be one of the best cases of this hat on any page. Like, this is the time when it turned out very close to what it's supposed to look like. So yeah, let's keep going. Some work on the bridge, and then we need to make sure we balance out all these massive details on the left side with the right side. Somewhere around here, there will be those details right here. So the power went out for a few hours. It's late now. Let's continue. I don't quite remember what I was doing, but in any case I was going over here. But one little thing I want to do before we go there to actual painting, I want to color correct the whole picture a little bit. Because right now I turned it on and the first thing I thought, everything's too green. We need to introduce some magenta to the balance of force. Magenta, do it. Do it. Oh yeah, there we go. It immediately feels like it's much more full color. In shadow, I may wanna remove it though, so Gilbert wouldn't become completely red. But generally, this redness on Gilbert's outfit looks nice because it's supposed to be getting closer to the evening time. Yeah, definitely an improvement, I think. So let's merge that with our layer and keep going. Also, I just want to say, so happy I bought the UPS recently, because I would literally lose this episode when the power went out, like half a year ago, and now it's a completely different story. I just paused my work and now I continue. No footage lost. Cool. So I guess I'm done with this part, at least for now. Looking pretty dope. Experimenting with the way you put details on the canvas, and keep noticing that it's really cool to paint a lot of small details by using an even smaller size of the brush. A very interesting trick. I was thinking about it for a while lately. Like, I did make a tutorial that you guys took part in, where we tried to paint a picture with a brush that is much bigger, and you couldn't change the size of the brush, so you had to show all the details by using a big brush. A really good exercise for searching shapes when you're actually building some kind of shape, looking for details on the surface. But when there's a lot of small details like this, like some kind of landscape, it's actually really cool. It's probably not exactly noticeable. It would be noticeable if I wouldn't do that. All the trunks I drew, they were like, the size of the trunk is about this size, maybe a bit smaller, like this. But instead of using this size of the brush and just going and painting one stick at a time for every trunk, I actually went with a smaller brush, and therefore I was able to kind of like not paint them with one stroke, but actually draw them. I had much more room for my brush stroke to create a much more specific shape for every tree, and therefore they look much more natural, and they don't have like all the same cylinders everywhere, or I would have to like constantly change the size of the brush, so all the tree trunks would be of different size. And this way it's much better. I noticed Ruan Jia actually paints like this when he's drawing small details. He's using smaller brush. He's like making a hatching kind of a drawing, but it's actually for the full color rich painting. I started doing that a lot as well when I'm drawing like quick grass. I usually go with this kind of just literally hatching. I just hatch around and then I elaborate into it, and I get a complex, interesting shape a lot faster than if I would be using a bigger brush that seems more fitting for this size of the detail. So you always gotta choose like a smaller brush than the detail you are painting. I think I should make a separate tutorial on that, but I just wanted to say this. Now let's work another 10 minutes on maybe this area, whatever, I don't know what we'll be able to cover, and that will be it for today. this is it for today. Really cool progress. This is gonna be an amazing page. Yeah, the shadows from the clouds really work out well. I made them darker, very close to us as well, so the contrast is higher, it's much more noticeable, and it works just awesomely. The feeling of scale is working pretty well in this valley. Really like it how all these tiny trees and bushes follow the curvature of the hills, as well as the shadows from the clouds, looking real cool. But you guys tell me what you think. In the next episode, we may finish this page, or maybe even work on the next one already. Not sure if I'll be able to work on this one in between the videos. But for now, I thank you for watching if you did. I guess you did if you're here. Leave a like and subscribe, tell a friend, paint with a smaller brush, do whatever you want. And I will see you in the next one. Bye! Also, I tried to draw like this instead of this. It's kind of fun, it almost works, but sometimes it's just not exactly easy to control pressure. And also the size of the screen is not for this kind of drawing. You can do this from the shoulder, but this is a bit too much.